So yeah, back. So yeah, okay. 07, 05, no, 05, 06. 05, 06. In 06, we went to the SEA Awards with Chuck T. And I met TJ Chapman, who owns TJ's DJs and one of the biggest fucking record promoters in the South. TJ the man. Okay, when we met him, he was like, y'all ain't got no hit records. You need a hit record. So I'm like, okay, I don't know shit about no hit record. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about that. I just know you go in the studio and make music, and whatever the best record is that you make, that's the one you run with. That's what I thought. But that's not how it go. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, be trying to make these records. They not just finna fucking come on the humbug. Okay, so long story short, we didn't have no hit record. We went from just going to touring the South on our own merit, selling our albums and shit out the trunk, to going back in the studio to make a hit record to expedite the process. And I do believe, I don't know, I mean, everybody is gonna make mistakes, and life is about choices. You know what I'm saying? We had an option that we could bypass beating the streets with a hit record. We get a hit record, and that'll give us a through card. So we stopped beating the streets, and I was back in the studio. But the problem was, nigga, I wasn't making no hit records. I didn't know what the fuck a hit record was. What do you mean, nigga? I mean, I understand this shit is on the radio, but I don't understand what makes the shit a hit and none of that shit. That right there took me down a long motherfucking rabbit hole. I'm talking about a very long rabbit hole that I did not come up out of until 2012, 2013. It's a long goddamn time. That's almost 7 years. God damn, that's a long fucking time. Okay, so anyway, we go back in the studio trying to make a hit record. You know, I'm making a bunch of records and none of them hits. And now we imploring fucking producers to come in to make a hit or to make a good beat that's a hit beat. But that's not working. None of that shit is working. It's just nothing is working. We trying like a motherfucker. I'm in the studio making all kind of beats, doing all kind of shit. Ain't none of that shit working. I didn't even have an identity as an artist at that time. I was just rapping to rap. So 2007 came, and I had this record called That's When I Creep. When I'm in the club. And that was the beginning of the partnership with me and my CEO writing these damn records. Before that, it was just me writing the records, and you know, he'll critique it here and there or whatever. But when it came time to make a hit record, he started putting his input in on the writing and producing too, which was infringing but needed. But he wasn't the one. I needed some outside help, but not him, because he was wearing too many hats already, and ultimately it would strain our relationship. It put a hell of a strain on it. But so we in the studio trying to make a hit record, not coming up with records, bringing in producers from here and there, rapping on 8 beats, still not coming up with no hit. So we got the record That's When I Creep, and it was the single off of the album The Diary of a Boss Man, which I recorded that album like some of the songs that didn't make it on the first album went on that album, which was the second album, The Diary of a Boss Man. And after I made the first album, I was still recording and making new songs, because I thought I was gonna get a fucking break after I made the album. I'm like, okay, cool, I done made this album, now I'm finna get a break and I can chill. No. No, motherfucker. It was still goddamn work. It was still work. It was like, once you finish one thing, it's off to the next, and you working on the next damn project. So boom, that was the single from the album Diary of a Boss Man. But we didn't put the album out because we had a lot of other shit going, and we had got that game from TJ, so we finna work this single. That's when I creeped. While we working the damn single, we went to Atlanta and hooked up with my boy DJ Dice. So we in Atlanta, we hook up with DJ Dice. He taking us to a bunch of clubs and shit, and I'm performing the record here and there. He getting the DJs to play it and shit. He basically showing me how to break your own records. You know, we was with him while we was doing it, but he basically was showing me what the fuck you gotta do. Nigga, this is what you got to do. And he a DJ himself, you know what I'm saying? So he gave me a lot of game. Do this, do that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, you know, just a bunch of goddamn game. A bunch of helpful game. That shit help. So, I remember it being March, fucking 2007, and it was cold. And we was at some club in Atlanta, College Park. Don't know where the club it was or nothing like that. It was some showcase. I performed. And I remember, I think, turning my back on the crowd or something. DJ Dice was like, hey man, don't you ever turn your back on the crowd. And I'm like, damn, okay, cool. Good game. Good game. So, what happened? That same night I'm in the club, Shawty Red walks up in that motherfucker. I'm like, damn. That's the first time I met him. You know what I'm saying? He walked up in that motherfucker cool and shit. Was that the first time? Yeah, that was the first time. That was the first time. That was the first time I seen that nigga. But I don't think we hooked up that night. We didn't hook up that night. I met him, but he really didn't even remember me like that. He was just like, oh, okay, what's up? He just thought I was just, you know, he didn't know how cool me and Dice was, you know what I'm saying, and what kind of relationship we had. Maybe Dice told him, but, you know, he just, you know, he got a lot of shit going on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool. I remember we did some more promotions, and then we left Atlanta, and I don't know where the idea got concocted, but the next thing I remember us doing was saying, hey, we need a beat from Shawty Red. We finna go to Atlanta and get a beat from Shawty Red. I don't know where that came from, but that's what was on the docket, and that was the mission. So boom, we goes to Atlanta. This trip totally different. This is different from the last trips, because the other trips was like promo trips, you know what I'm saying? But this trip was like a mission. Man, we get to this motherfucking after hour club. I'm talking about after hours. I don't know where this shit was at. What the fuck? Man, these niggas had big guns outside. Big guns, you know what I'm saying? I guess, like, you know, as people coming in, you know what I'm saying, they got these guns and shit, like, you know, the security of the fucking place. I'm like, damn, what the fuck is this? I'm young, nigga, and I'm coming from a structured, somewhat sheltered background. When I say sheltered, meaning the people I'm with ain't letting me do none of this wild ass shit. You know what I'm saying? These niggas like, hey, you get up, you fucking come to the studio, you do this and you do that, you know what I'm saying? Don't be out here doing this, don't do that. You know, I remember one time I rode to a club in parking lot, pimp. This was before the fucking album came out. Man, the CEO was pitching the bitch. Man, what the hell you doing out there like that, man? You know this happens out there. This happens. You don't need to be out there like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So to go out like this whole fucking trip changed my goddamn life, man. This whole shit changed my life for the better, the worse, or whatever. The shit just changed my fucking life. And it shook me up as a goddamn artist. I was not prepared and ready for this fucking shit, man. I wasn't ready at all. So I goes to the club. We goes to the club to meet him. We meeting Shawty Red at the fucking after hours club. This nigga just got in the fight with the fucking security. This little old nigga. Man, I may be a little taller than Shawty Red. I may be an inch or two taller than Shawty Red, man. And this motherfucker is fighting with these fucking security people, man. This nigga is big on respect. The nigga so big on respect, he is not finna let nobody disrespect him. Them motherfuckers disrespecting him, and he got into it with them motherfuckers. So I'm hollering at him again like, yo, what's up? After he done got in the fucking fight. Crazy shit. Shawty Red ain't going. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Shawty Red ain't going. He ain't going. So that's how I hooked up with the nigga right there. After that day I met him that night when we was at that damn after hours club. After that, I was fucking around with that nigga. I fucked around at least about a good year, man. 2007, 2008. 2008 is when I stopped. I ain't gonna say stop, but that's the last time I kicked it with him in person. I didn't holler at him since then, but yeah. Crazy shit. So yeah, man. That's how I met the nigga. And then we just started kicking it. We started really coattailing him. Wherever he went, we'll go. Every club he went to, we was shadowing him. You know what I'm saying? Shadowing him. Hold on. Yo, I'm outside. I'm by your shit. Alright. Yeah, so yeah, long story short, on this aspect, because I got to do this in sections. I can't just straight give you this one. I got to give it to you in sections. So I got you all the way to 2007 to where I met the nigga. In 2007, my whole artist career, my whole perspective as an artist changed in 2007. This is when I really got the information that, hey, you need to change the way you doing them raps. You need to think about what you doing and not just be rapping the rap. That's what came out of 2007. So before I end it, let me sum it up. So I dropped my first album because hold on, we're gonna get back to you.